Hi, my name is Robyn and I'm a trumpet player, and I started playing trumpet, I started playing the smaller version of trumpet called the cornet when I was 8, and I absolutely loved it. I practiced for half an hour every day. But by the time I was sort of 14, 15, although I knew that I was interested in jazz, I found a lot of the jazz education stuff wasn't very accessible to me. And I just stopped progressing really. And now, with hindsight, I know that it was the written stage that was kind of the barrier. But I tried a lot of other instruments, like a lot of instruments are two-handed, but I don't really have two hands that I can use in that way because I have cerebral-palsy, which is basically it means that the left side of my body, the right side of my brain can't talk to it properly because I have brain damage. So I could never get what I wanted to say expressed in that way. And I grew up in Suffolk, in the middle of nowhere. The nearest city, sort of big town, was 30 miles away. The nearest train to London, 15 miles away. So when I moved to London, it was like opening a door, but also opening my mind. And one of the things that happened is in 2014 I saw a J.J. Cale tribute, and the drummer completely inspired me. He had what I now know to be brushes, but the sticks were brightly coloured, and because I'm visually impaired it meant I could see it, and I'd not really had that experience before. And I went into a music shop the next day and I was so inspired by it, and I was telling them all about it, and it's always probably a jazz drummer. And then I joined Morley College's big band, and I didn't know anything about big band music, it's just they mentioned jazz in the description. And I met Tony Douglas, and he taught me how to learn my scales using just my ears. And what I found was that once I did that and learned the circle of fifths, which is 24 scales, or 36 if you learn all of them, and then if you learn the pentatonic scale, anyway, there's a lot of scales, but I found that they were easy to learn by ear because Tony taught me, well, basically you're just learning to listen for the music terms interval. But to me now it's kind of like the difference between the smoke alarm and the pelican crossing in terms of sound. Like you learn to pick it up, but that was a learning curve. I had a lovely time in the beginners big band. I really enjoyed it, and then some of the friends I'd made from the beginners big band and we went to see this gig at the Windmill in Brixton, and the gig had this band called Spaceheads, which is drums and trumpet. And the trumpet player, Andy Diagram, he put his trumpet through guitar effect pedals. And that completely blew my mind because I could see how you could make the trumpet like a two-handed instrument, in that you could, say, record on a loop pedal, a bass line, and then put a melody and a harmony, like it was just like a light went on. And so I started experimenting with making music on the computer, and I was still using the trumpet, but I was using like a digital pedal board. And then I sent Andy my music, and he said that he loved it and he wanted to mix and master it, which was just absolutely incredible. Like Andy plays in a band called James, and he's played with Nico, and he's got a lot of other better things to be doing than mixing my music, so that was just absolutely incredible. And in the meantime I sent Heart and Soul, who are an organisation who put on this big sort of festival party thing where they take over the South Bank Centre. And Heart and Soul, their tagline is that they believe in the power and talents of people with learning disabilities, and they include autism within that. And I just sent an email, I just sent the chief exec an email, and I said, I've got this music and Andy Diagram likes it, and I wondered if I could perform it. And he said yes. But this, my ideas were like, well, I recorded 25 tracks of trumpet. And but Mark believed in me and just sort of let me get on with it. And so I got together a band of 5 trumpets and 1 keyboard. I'd never had a band before, never booked rehearsal studios myself before. I didn't know how to use a mixing desk. Like, I knew none of those things, and I learned, and I found I learned quite quickly. And the band and I, we stayed together for a year, and we did gigs all over London and one in Brighton, where everybody said that we were rubbish. And then And the last song, they decided they loved us and demanded an encore. And I just kind of, I just sort of kept playing and doing gigs, and Heart and Soul, they kindly gave me an artist development budget, which I can use to get advice and information and ideas from them. And one of the things that came up in an artist development meeting was that I should try and get a residency at a local venue. So I emailed Vinyl, which was just around the corner on Tanners Hill, like a 10-minute walk, probably less than that. And I knew them a little bit, and I just said, could I do a monthly night? They said yeah, and my idea was I wanted to bring together people with and without learning disabilities, both in the audience and as performers, and that worked really well. And one of the things, the point of that night, other than to have a great time and listen to cool music, was to give me like a focal point, a way of saying, being able to say to people, "Oh, come down to Robyn's Rockets," or whatever it's called, and see what I'm doing. And so one of the ideas I tried was cello and trumpet with my friend Cafe, which worked really well, and we're now called the Hairdressers. And I sent the live recording to cafe-OTO, which is like the venue that I most want to play at in London, and they said, yeah, you can have a support slot. And then after that, they said, oh yeah, you could do a night of your different collaborations, and I did that in September, and then they liked it so much that I'm going to do 3 in 2019. And what I'd say to anyone is that this is an amazing journey that I've been on, but really it's through hard work, and it's not through I'm not special or anything. I'm just a regular person that works really hard at playing the trumpet and is really passionate about music.